No, wait. No, it says it says it's not an F, but it's not good.
Hey, yeah, that's crazy.
That's funny. That's funny. All right.
Yo, welcome back to another episode of House of Sports Podcast. It's me, your boy Wayne, here with my guy Chubbs. In this episode, we'll be discussing the grades for the AFC South and the AFC East. Got some other topics we also want to talk about, but that'll be the main gist of this episode. Y'all know what to do. Y'all know where to find us. AC Sports Pod everywhere, and House of Sports Podcast on YouTube, man. Chubbs, how you doing, man?
Doing great. Just got back from coaching, learning. I'm feeling more comfortable talking about the scheme I'm learning that I'm going to be a part of at the high school I'm coaching at. So it's cool. It's cool. I'm doing good. Can't wait to get going.
Say, man, practice it's hot here. One thing I like about Florida is that we do have a spring game, so we have our spring game on Friday. So excited about that. But yeah, it's kind of weird in different states that you guys don't do that. I always thought that was weird when I found that out. I thought that was just like a universal thing.
It's more of a it's not the schools. It's not it's the state. The Maryland doesn't want a lot of contact football wise. In the spring past 8th grade, you can do it. There's spring leagues in youth you can do, but past as soon as you hit high school, there's no spring hitting.
Yeah, see, that's crazy to me. We had a spring game, we had all that, but
at least it's not in the MIAA, which is one of the higher leagues in the state of Maryland. If the top two, honestly. But yeah. I know y'all in Florida are a little bit different. Y'all in Texas a little different. California a little different. Well, California, I know they do it, but not all parts of California do it. The South is different. That's all I'll say.
That's why we. Man.
If you around the Mason Dixon line, you take you take breaks.
I get it. Yeah, man. I'm excited for our game. We don't do kickoffs though in our spring games, which is different. It's more like a scrimmage, like 20. I think we're going to be 30 plays offense, 30 plays defense.
Yeah, hey, ours is basically our spring game and spring leagues are basically 7-on-7.
Yeah, see, we did 30 on offense, 30 on defense, but it's that's weird because when I was in high school, we did quarters. So it was first quarter, everybody just started at the 20. There was no punt, no nothing. If you get a stop, start at the 20, driving down. And that's how we did it. So no punt, no nothing. So I was like, what's the point of our kicker and punter going to practice? But they were here.
They probably didn't get no offers. That's why they're like, nah, we ain't trying to do this.
That ass stuff. All right, man. Let's go ahead and get to the gist of the episode, man. We're going to start off in the AFC East. Start off with the Miami Dolphins. So let's talk about what moves they made, and then we're going to give our final grades. So they got Salvon Ahmed, re-signed him, re-signed or extended Raheem Mostert's contract for 2 years, re-signed Braxton Berrios, re-signed Rivercraft. They just recently officially signed Odell Beckham Jr., picked up Jordy Fortson, picked up Jonnu Smith, got Jack Driscoll for a tackle, Kendall Lamb a tackle, Aaron Brewer, they took him from the Titans, I believe he was on Titans, re-signed Robert Jones, re-signed Isaiah Wynn, picked up Shaq Barrett, got Nevin Gallimore, Jonathan Harris, Benjamin Jones, Tierra Tart, which actually that's a nice signing, Deshaun Hand, it's a good signing too, Jordan Brooks, Anthony Walker, picked up Kendall Fuller, Nakeem Neiman, signed Jordan Poyer, and got DB Sarian Allen. And then in the draft, if you guys were here on the draft, you saw Joey had a meltdown when they picked Chop Robinson. They got Patrick Paul at tackle, Jalen Wright at running back, Muhammad Kamara, Malik Washington, Patrick McMorris safety, and Taj Washington. So Chubbs, Talk to me about what you like, what you dislike about the offensive season. Obviously, we know they lost Wilkins. They lost some other key pieces on the offensive line too. Robert Hunt, I believe. Some other key pieces as well. But what are your thoughts on their offseason?
I'm gonna give them out of everybody in the AFC East. I think they're probably tied for first. For offseason grades for me. I'm gonna give them an A-. Reason why I probably would have gave them an A or higher if they're first. I mean, I don't hate the Chop Robinson pick. Let's be honest when I'm saying this. But if we're being completely honest, you still have Bradley Chubb. You still have Jalen Phillips. Granted, they're coming off of injury. I get that. I mean, you know, sometimes players aren't exactly the same after injury.
Yep.
But you're still getting them back.
Big injuries, though, Charles. Big injuries. Those are big injuries. ACL.
Those are big injuries. Those are big injuries, but you signed Shaq Barrett.
And Achilles.
And then I forget, they might have got somebody else. All I'm saying is, first round pick, correct me if I'm wrong, Jerzon was available.
That is correct. Chubb. Jerzon was available.
Jackson Powers Johnson was available.
That is correct.
And even at that, if you really wanted an outside backer or pass rusher, you had offensive tackles available. So you didn't have to take Patrick Paul in the second, but I love Patrick Paul in the second.
That's a great pick for them. I do love that.
I love that. That's your right tackle. Love Jalen Wright because Jalen Wright is going to be your Raheem Mostert when Raheem Mostert leaves.
They could have got Graham. They could have got Graham.
Barton I love Muhammad Kamara, even though you didn't need him.
Yep.
Love that pick. That's going to be, bro. Chop Robinson with Muhammad Kamara, if they develop into the pass rushers that, you know, I know Muhammad Kamara, I feel it's going to definitely develop.
They're going to be talking about why Muhammad Kamara went so, like, me and you are very high on him. They're going to be talking about in 2 years, how did this guy slip to whatever round he slipped to?
And when he defies the odds, they're going to take this bullshit stuff out about if you're 6'1" or 6'2" or shorter at defense end or outside backer, you can't play or you can't be a top first round pick or second round pick. They're going to take that shit out of it. Because basically these guys that got picked up in front and ahead of them, I'm sorry to get on a Muhammad Kamara rant, but I'm going to. The reason why they got it was because they're 6'5" or 6'6" with 240. Muhammad Kamara had more production. And he's faster. And he arguably is stronger. But since he played at Colorado State, you know, that also probably hindered him. But that doesn't mean anything because guys like Matthew Judon end up being Matthew Judon that didn't play high D1. Mm-hmm. So I think that's an absolute steal for them, even though they didn't need him, especially fifth round. Malik Washington, great receiver. I'm going to be honest with you. He's your slot guy. Like, that's a slot receiver. He had one of the highest catch rates in college. And he should have been a third round pick, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And he got him in the sixth round. I love that pick. I don't know much about Vic Morris. And Taj Washington is a good pick for a seventh round pick. Now, I don't know how many receivers you're going to be keeping on this goddamn team with Odell being on your team now. I honestly don't think you needed Odell. I mean, I
just don't know why you pick those guys up if you're going to want Odell, because I feel like you can't develop them. Obviously, Odell's there another year, but you re-signed Barrios. Rivercraft made some big catches for them in certain games too.
They're gonna carry eight receivers. Like what is this? Like you're gonna carry 8 receivers, 4 running backs. Like you're not. Like you're not. Let's not kid us. But one thing I do like is you got Jonnu Smith. You got a kind of like tweaky, fast tight end. I know they didn't do anything at Patriots for him, but he could probably do something on his offense. They got a bunch of burners and Odell.
Yeah.
Like that's all. But I give them A-. I like what they did.
I'm gonna go ahead and give them a B plus. I think they would have been an A, but to me, they just never really replace, to me, their biggest asset, which was Wilkins.
I think Jerzon would have been perfect.
That's what I'm saying. If they would have drafted Jerzon, I'd give them the A. I think you needed to find a way. To me, when you have an elite D tackle, that changes the entire game, as we've been seeing with Aaron Donald and Chris Jones. You can't lose an elite D tackle and think you're going to do it by committee situation with that. That works with running backs. That does not work with defensive tackles, defensive linemen. It's very hard to replace that value that they provide. Somebody that's great in the run defense, which we know Christian Wilkins was amazing in the run defense. Kept being one of the top defensive tackles in tackles each and every year. He never came off the field, which was more importantly. He used him in pass situations and run situations. The guy was always on the field. Him and Max Crosby, I think, out of all defenders in the league, played the most snaps, which they're now together. So to me, like, you don't replace that. To me, that's a huge gap that you didn't fix, and you continue not to fix it. So I'm worried about that. Next, so that's my biggest thing. I also don't believe they needed Odell Beckham Jr. as well. I don't think that was needed. I do give them a huge plus in getting rid of Xavier Howard and that contract and getting Kendall Fuller.
Kendall Fuller, yeah, I forgot that.
That's a great pickup for them. Mm-hmm. Getting rid of Xavier Howard, getting Kendall Fuller, still in Jordan Poyer as well, because you needed a good safety as well. So you got to, even though he's older, you still got somebody that's good and somebody that can really help Harlan too, help further develop him. And you see Harlan is already considered like a top 10 safety. I don't know if you saw that safety list that Buddy dropped. I think you replied to it, or I think Kyle Hamilton had too. But I don't like Antoine Winfield Jr. at number 1. I don't think he's the best safety in the league. That's just me personally. But yeah, so
I like ridiculous.
Yeah, the list was crazy. I like picking up Jordan Brooks. I like the Antoine Walker. You got some guys that can play a little bit in coverage, but more importantly, they're tackling machines. I like that. I like the Shaq Barrett pickup as well. I think that was a good pickup for them. I still don't believe they replaced really much on what they lost on the offensive line as well. So that's why it's still a B for me, but B plus for me. But I do like what they did. I think Odell's going to help them. But I still don't think they need a bigger receiver. To me, they never really made the move to get a bigger receiver. Then you got the 2 speed guys. Now you just need a big receiver they could throw the ball up to, which I think they missed out on.
They haven't really had that.
That's what they need, though.
Who was their big receiver like in the last decade? Devontae Parker?
Yeah, well, he was nice for that 1 year.
That 1 year?
He was nice that 1 year. I don't do that.
I thought he was about to be lit.
I know, me too. Let me see. Did they have any other big receiver, like a big body receiver?
But you know what's crazy? Devontae Parker is like that mid receiver, but like he's good enough to be in the league, but like he's not going to do much. Like
he just don't get separation, but he'll make a contested catch, but he doesn't make it the same radius. He's like George Pickens, but he's not 6'4".
Nah, but George Pickens. Nah, I know that George. Yeah, I'm trying to give him like as an equivalent to like he's just like hanging around, but he's here.
Cedric Wilson Sr.
Bro, he's like any 3-point shooter LeBron picked up that was a vet. Like
that's a fact. This is the 3-point shooter, but he don't get separation, so he can't become a specialist though. Like he just doesn't get.
You know who he is? What's his name?
He's a great rebounder. If you get a great rebounder,
he is Danny Green.
No, he's not, bro. He's Reggie Evans. He's Reggie Evans.
Nah. You know what he is? He is Rui Hachimura.
He's doing something, but you just don't know what he's doing.
Exactly.
That's hilarious, man. All right, man. Let's move to, I think, the team we think is the worst in this division. So, Buffalo Bills picked up Mitchell Trubisky, brought him back. Money making Mitch. Signed Chase Claypool recently. Picked up Matt Collins. Signed Curtis Samuel to a 3-year, $30 million deal. Signed Lael Collins. Extended Deion Dawkins. Picked up David Edwards. Signed Will Clapp. Re-signed AJ Espinoza. Picked up DeJuan Smoot. Picked up Casey Toohill.
whole lot of nothing.
Whole lot of nothing. Got Jordan Phillips. Picked up Deion Jones. I can't believe he's still in the league. Resigned, extended Taron Johnson. Resigned Taylor Rapp. Signed Mike Edwards, which is a good pickup for them. In the draft, we know what they did in the draft. So Buffalo Bills in this year's draft, let me just make sure I scroll up here. I don't get it incorrectly. They picked up Keon Coleman, signed Cole Bishop, picked up Dwayne Carter, Ryan Davis, Cedric Van SVPG. I'm not gonna pronounce his linebacker's little name because I'm gonna mess it up. Picked up Javon Edefui. I'm not Edu.
Hello, Shio.
Picked up for show.
No, Shio.
Javon Solomon. Picked up Tylen Gramble, Daquan Hardy, and Travis Clayton. Charles, what is your grade for them this offseason? I don't know if you saw anything from rookie camp. People were clowning. Keon Coleman said he looked.
Hey, he shops at Macy's. He get all the deals. You know what? It's okay. I like Keon Coleman, so I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. Ain't his fault that he's played for the Bills. I'm gonna give them a D. I'm gonna give them a fat old D. Pause. No Diddy. They go. Yeah.
That was crazy. That was crazy.
I said no Diddy.
Yo!
I said no Diddy. All right, relax. Back on track. I just don't like what they did. First of all, you have an arch rival that you can't get past in the playoffs, and you basically give them who they want so they think they can get better. And I'm talking about trading with the Chiefs. Why do you do that? Like, that don't make no sense to me. You just gave them the fastest guy in the draft, who Patrick Mahomes, after that he did that, said basically, I want that guy. Like, go get that guy. And you know he's on the board, so you kind of have an idea why they're calling your phone. And you give them what they want. Like, aren't you tired of these guys beating you? I mean, not that they would have beat you this year.
Do you think they don't think they'll be able to compete with them no more, so they're kind of rebuilding? Do you think the Bills think they're still contenders right now at this point?
No. If you're a Bills fan, if you're a Bills player and you think you're contending, you're smoking crack.
The very first signing was to sign Lamar Odom. What's on crack?
I'm sorry, like straight up, like you're on something. Like I like Keon Coleman, but some people will say that might have been a little bit of a reach to how he dropped. He dropped in this draft. I like him though, even though they're saying his separation, he ain't gonna get no separation in the league. But goddamn, he gonna catch some contested passes. I guarantee it. Bishop, I like Utah DBs. They are always solid in the league. I don't know what it is. They might not be. I mean, Eric Weddle was top safety in the league at one point, but like they're just solid DBs in the league. I don't know much about Cole, but that's you know what, you need to replace Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde leaving. You got one, and you signed Tyler Rapp. So you got your DBs. I love Dwayne Carter at D tackle. I know that they were old in that position last year. I think they had Jordan Phillips, if I'm correct, if I'm right. I do like Dwayne Carter. He's probably not going to start. He's probably going to get rotational, but he's solid. Ray Davis, people think he was one of the best running backs in this draft, depending on who you talk to, analyst wise, or listening to on TV. He'll be able to come right in and get snaps with Cook. I really believe it. Van Pran, great pickup because you lost your center, Mitch Morris. So this guy, I think that guy can come in day one and start.
I thought that's somebody we would have waited into the third round, and we weren't able to get Zach or Jackson. I thought he was somebody we would get in the fourth round, so that's a good.
He went to the fifth though. That's kind of good.
Yeah.
Ede's trash. I don't know why they picked him. Ede.
Respect him, Chaz.
I'm sorry, Ede, but you're supposed to be undrafted. I'm just keeping it a buck. Javon Solomon, I like that pick, but you did. I mean, you do need to get some pass rushers because Von Miller. I don't know what's going to happen with him. He can't be healthy the last 2 years, but he's probably retiring soon. So Solomon's a solid pickup, especially fifth round. He had a lot of production out of Troy, so I like that. And the other guys just rotational guys. I don't think these guys at off tackle are really going to get a lot of bump. If I'm being completely honest, but I think that O-line needs some work. If I'm not mistaken, still their best lineman I think is Deion Dawkins, who's not a bad lineman. He's just not like a top 10 lineman in the league or top 15.
You don't like La'el Collins?
He's on that. The La'el Collins hasn't had a really good year in a few years. Like, so I don't really see. I mean, he's not bad, but you needed more work. Is what I'm saying. He could have took a tackle in the first 3 rounds. Probably wouldn't have been a bad idea, or a guard. Don't really know who's really there right now. They got Cody Ford, I guess, at guard still. But I don't know. I don't like what the Bills did. Trash.
Trash. I mean, yeah. I mean, to me, there was only going to be below a C always just because of everything that they lost this offseason. Lost Stephon Diggs. Didn't really get the best package for him. Lost. He had to release Mitch Morris. The biggest L for them is they still have to keep Von Miller.
Yeah. That's an L.
Lost Jordan Poyer. You lost both your safeties.
They want him to retire. He's like,
White too?
Huh?
Did they get rid of Tre'Davious White too?
Yeah. They picked up Daquan Hardy in the 6th round, Wayne.
So yeah, everybody that they lost, they just can't make up for it. And then you re-sign Mitch Trubisky on top of that. That's like the very first move of this offseason was to re-sign Mitch Trubisky. So like, yeah,
Josh Allen, what do you want? I want you to get my friend.
Yeah, man, nothing really big. I mean, I like the Keon Coleman assignment for them. Let's see if he can help out. But honestly, I'm happy for. I'm a big Dalton Kincaid guy, so I want to see what he does this year. Can he take that next step to becoming a top 5 tight end, which I think he's capable of being?
Him and Dawson playing both slots.
Respect. They got some receivers over there, man. They got. I'm not moved by the Curtis Samuel pickup. I think Curtis Samuel is one of those guys who always was based off what they think he could do. Maybe Claypool could have a resurgence.
I forgot he's on that team now. Hey, they got a top 10 receiver or top 5 receiver.
He said that and fell off so bad. Like, I can't believe somebody said that and fell off that bad. It's kind of crazy. Super crazy about that. All right, man. That's all for the Bills, man. We don't got to stay much time on that. Let's get to the Patriots. Patriots signed Jacoby Brissett. Picked up quarterback Nate Roku. Or maybe I didn't say his name right, but what it is. Antonio Gibson, they signed to a 3-year deal. Re-signed Kendrick Bourne. Signed KJ Osborne. Re-signed Jalen Reagor. Re-signed Hunter Henry. Signed Austin Hooper. Signed Mitchell Cox. Re-signed Mike Onowu. Picked up re-signed Tyron Whitley. Picked up Chuka Okorafor. Re-signed Efrain Jennings. Re-signed Josh Uchin. Signed Christian Barmore. Signed Armon Watts. Signed Christian Ellis. Signed Sonny Takati. I don't know if I said his name right. I said it incorrectly, though. Re-signed Kyle Duggar. And picked up Jalen Hawkins. In the draft, we know they picked up Drake May with their first pick. That's who they got. I actually really, really love what they did with their draft, honestly. I just want to get to it. So in the draft, they picked up Drake May. Did I skip them? New England Patriots.
Drake May, first round pick. Second round, they had Jalen Pope.
Third round,
Aiden Wallace. 4th round, Leighton Johnson. 4th round, Javon Baker. 6th round, Marcellus Dial. 6th round, Joe Milton. 7th round, Jaheim Bell.
What are your thoughts?
I'm gonna give him a B plus. Mainly on the fact that you picked a quarterback 3rd overall. That's probably not going to start for a whole year. It's not like a Patty Mahomes situation.
You don't think he starts?
Bro, I think Brissett's going to start. He's sitting under Brissett. I mean, what's it called? Learning under Brissett for a year. I think that's what they said. I thought that's what they said before even drafting a quarterback, that Brissett was probably going to be the starter this year. However, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'd give them an A minus, honestly, but for that reason alone, I got to give them a B plus. I know they lost tackle, and I know they picked up a 3rd round tackle. That's cool. What I do like, and that's why I gave them a high grade, is the running thing in the past. That's with the Patriots, is that they haven't had receivers for real, and they got 2 of the most productive receivers in this draft.
I love Javon Baker, man.
Even Jalen Polk, like,
yeah.
It's crazy what they did they set these quarterbacks up greatly, and they failed Mac Jones.
I tried to tell y'all that.
They failed him. Because even Jaheim Bell, I love that pick in the 7th round, because he can play receiver, he can play slot receiver, he can play tight end, he can play running back, fullback, whatever you want him to do. He's a gadget player, which is great. Joe Milton getting picked up is kind of interesting when you picked up Drake May. Do we got a RG3 situation and Kirk Cousins? Who knows? We'll wait to find out. I like what they did. Offseason, on the other hand, not draft related, I don't really care for it. They resigned their guys back. They didn't really make any splashes, so I'll just give them a B plus, basically. They got better through the draft.
Yeah, I'm gonna give them an A because I think they got better through the draft. They didn't lose their guys that they wanted. They were able to keep Kyle Duggar, even though they put him on the tag.
They lost Trent Brown.
They did lose Trent Brown. That is correct.
I mean, I don't know who Aiden Moss is, but
they did. But they picked up Chuka. So I mean, they did some things, but I like what they did a lot. Obviously, getting a quarterback, getting rid of Mac Jones, making a decision, picking up a Drake May, and then obviously, like you said, they set the quarterbacks up with success with getting the receivers that they got in this draft. I'm a huge Javon Baker guy. I thought that's what I wanted the Steelers to find a way to get. Didn't happen, but I really like what they did in this draft. So I like what they did. I like what they did in the offseason, getting their guys back. So I'm going to give them a solid A. Let's get to the Jets. The Jets signed Tyrod Taylor, signed Mike Williams, got John Simpson, acquired Morgan Moses in the trade, picked up Tyron Smith, got Luka Fuatu, signed Javon Kinlaw, traded for Hassan Reddick, re-signed Solomon Thomas, signed Isaiah Oliver, re-signed Chuck Clark, re-signed Ashton Davis, re-signed Zerlin, and re-signed their punter. In the draft, they got Olu Fashanu from Penn State, picked up Malachi Corley, picked up Breland Allen, picked up Jordan Travis, Isaiah Davis, Quantez Stiggers, and Jalen Key. What are your grades for them?
I'm gonna give them an A minus. I think them and Dolphins. I think they tied this for first. I love that they basically got rid of Mekhi Becton and picked up his replacement right away. They got Tyron Smith, so Tyron Smith and Olu maybe holding it down, for Aaron Rodgers, which is a great thing. But they do have Morgan Moses, so that's a good problem to have. You got a lot of tackles that can play and protect for Aaron if one's not living up to what they need to do. John Simpson, I don't think is the best guard, but he's a pretty solid guard. He played every snap for the Ravens last year, even though he was penalized a lot. He's a solid guard, better than what they had. I love Malachi Corley. pickup. You didn't really need receivers, but you got probably one of the most productive slots besides Malik Washington out of Virginia. Putting him with Mike Williams, who you picked up too, which is nice. Mike Williams, Malachi, and Garrett Wilson are going to snap. I'm gonna tell you something. They're going to snap. They're going to. It's like, I promise you. I love the Jordan Travis pickup because that's your future. He gets to actually learn from Aaron and Tyrod, two different type of quarterbacks, different type of minds.
You think that's their future?
Yes. Yes. Because Jordan Travis is not going to mind sitting 2 to 3 years if Aaron Rodgers plays for 3 years. Not going to mind it. And I think he has a pedigree. I said that's the Russell Wilson of this draft. I really believe it.
If he never got injured, it's a whole different. I think he goes earlier than where he went.
Probably. I don't know what they're going to do at running back. I'm going to be honest with you. Brees Hall obviously is a starter. But you now picked up Braylon Allen. Great running back to have. But him and Brees are kind of similar play styles.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got Isaiah Davis from South Dakota. Highly productive running back. And I'm pretty sure you have another running back somewhere on the roster too. So you have to, I don't know what you're going to do. You got a lot of running backs, even though running really got you somewhere for your dubs last year, but that you didn't get. It was because of the running game. I like Stiggers. Stiggers is from the Canadian Football League. He was one of the corners that were like one of the better corners out of the Canadian Football League, and he got drafted. I know he was getting looked at and visited the Ravens. I think he's a pretty big corner. I think he's from the Baltimore area for some reason. But I like that pickup. He's probably not going to get a lot of bump, but I like that pickup. And I don't really care for the DB from Alabama. Usually the 7th round DBs don't really stay in the league too long. No offense to you, Jalen Key. I'm just not familiar with your game. But I like what they did overall. A-, like I said. Tyrod Taylor's a good backup to have because, knock on wood, because I don't, Aaron Rodgers, something could happen. But Tyrod, if something were to happen, Tyrod can get you W's, can lead teams to victories if he has a team around him, which the Jets have a team this year. They do.
That's a fact.
So I like it. I like it.
Yeah, for me, I definitely like what they did this offseason. Getting another receiver in there, I felt like just simply relying on Garrett Wilson wasn't going to be enough. So getting people that getting Malachi Corley, I really like that pickup for them. I believe I'm with you as well with the Jordan Travis pickup. I think he is their future. I thought I was the only one alone, but I do think that he is their future, and he's going to sit a couple of years behind Aaron Rodgers. I think Aaron Rodgers has another 2 or 3 years left in him when he plays. Getting offensive line help through the draft and through this offseason was huge, something that they obviously needed, and they went ahead and got that. So I really like what they did there. More importantly, getting Hassan Reddick. You essentially lost the guy you got, John Franklin Myers? You lost him.
Yeah.
And then you picked up, and you lost both of your DNs. You traded away one, and then I forget the one that went to the Eagles. I can't think of his name right now. It's on tip of my tongue.
What team? What are you talking about?
We're on the Jets. He went to the Eagles.
Bryce Huff.
You essentially traded Bryce Huff
to evil go ahead. Marlon Humphrey.
Evil Marlon Humphrey. It's crazy.
That's Matty Giuliani said that.
But you essentially did that to go ahead and pick up Hassan Reddick. So you got an elite pass rusher, which is something you needed. You pair him with Quinnen Williams, which is great. Then you also go ahead and get receiver help in Malachi Corley in the 3rd round. You pick up offensive linemen throughout this offseason. Protect your quarterback. So I love what they did. I give them a solid A-. Then they did a good job. I expected some big things out of them. To me, it's Super Bowl bust for them. So a lot of teams this year, I think it's Super Bowl bust. I think it's going to be one of the more competitive years. Similar to like kind of what we had last year, but I think it's going to be way more competitive this year with all the moves that were made. So I give them a solid A-. I like the move. I like that Hassan Reddick move. I like everything that they did. So Let's go ahead and get to the AFC South. And we're going to start with a team I think that's going to have the highest grade out of any of the teams that we're going to do in this entire thing, which is the Houston Texans. Traded for Joe Mixon, picked up Dare Ogunwale, re-signed Noah Brown, acquired Stephon Diggs, re-signed Dalton Schultz, picked up Charlie Heck, picked up the Keenan Autry, signed Mario Edwards, signed Tim Soto, signed Foley Wakanasu, signed Derek Barnett, re-signed him, picked up Danielle Hunter for a 2-year, $49 million deal, picked up Aziz Ashari, picked up Deshaun Phillips, got Mike Ford, Miles Bryant, CJ Henderson, Lonnie Johnson, re-signed Desmond King, signed Jeff Okuda, got Eric Murray, and then in the draft, they went ahead and picked up Kareem Lassiter, picked up Blake Fisher from Notre Dame, Keelan Bullock from USC, got Cade Stover, Jamal Hill, John Jordan, Solomon and Bird, Marcus Harris, and Ladarius Henderson. What is your grade for the Houston Texans?
I'm gonna give him A minus.
A minus.
I'm not like in love with their draft.
You're not in love with their draft. Yeah, I love the
can I just say something right now for everybody tuning in? I didn't give anybody A pluses. I think the highest grade I'm ever given is A, because there's always room. Teams always missed one spot. That they really needed to fix. There's always those spots like you got okay better, but not like you could have addressed it another way. That's why I'm never going to give it A plus. The reason why I'm going to give it an A minus is like I don't think the places they drafted were absolute like needs. It was more like we're gonna do the best player available, which is cool. But like then you run into problems about like these guys are basically not getting PT. No bump. Blake Fisher to me is a left tackle. You got a left tackle. Left tackle is probably going to play for probably 4 years, more years, maybe longer. I mean, Blake Fisher, you might try to make a right tackle, but he played left tackle majority of his snaps in college. I like Lassiter, but you have good corners, young corners.
Could always be better.
I know he could always be better. He might beat out the guy that's the number 2 right now. I can't think of his name for some reason. Might end up doing it. So that's a cool pick. I like Cade, but like you got Dalton Schultz. You could always have more. Cool, but like that's not what you guys do. And I don't even know what you did in the 6th round. I don't even know who them guys are. And then cool, you got Ladarius Henderson. That's a hopeful depth piece. And then Solomon Bird, that's a hopeful depth piece. I like him. He had some production at USC, even though their defense was trash. He had some production. But that's why I'm not giving them like an A or A. I don't get A pluses. So I'm giving A minus just because I didn't love their draft. I loved their offseason. They got Stephon Diggs, Daniel Hunter, Joe Mixon, all 3 productive guys in the league. I love that. So I mean they did get better, but I'm not gonna give them an A minus.
I give them an A, man, and I'm so close to get. They get an A plus, Chubbs. This is hate. They had the best.
It's not hate. It's not hate.
They got a borderline top 10 running back. They got a top 10 wide receiver. They got a top 10 pass rusher in this offseason.
Okay.
Picked up corner depth. Their linebacker pickups are so slept on. Aziz Ashari, getting him is a huge pickup for them. That's a huge pickup to get him, to pair him next to Christian Harris, right? Great pickups. Derek Barnett, good rotation. Danico Autry, great. He can play DA and can play D tackle. Great pickup. CJ Henderson, good pickup. Desmond King, obviously good pickup.
Oh, CJ Henderson. Yeah,
he's a good spot.
That's a second corner. Spot.
No, Jeff Okuda is going to be the second corner.
I forgot they got Jeff Okuda on that team.
right? And then you can rotate. You have a four, and you pick the Kareem Master, who's probably going to be the second corner in a year, because Jeff Okudah only has a 1 year deal, and Kareem might end up taking a position by the end of this offseason, like midway through the season. So like great DB depth that they picked up, right? You got another safety that you picked up in the draft in Bullocks, right? Fisher, probably you say he's left tackle, probably end up moving the right tackle. We'll see, right? Possibly you can move him there in a couple of years, right? He's probably not going to start this year, but you can move him there in a couple of years. This team is set. They are bona fide contenders now. This team went from a team that we thought last year only won 4 games.
Well, I'm not saying they're not contenders. The A- means they got better still.
But once the offseason ended, did you have them as contenders going into next year?
It depends on what they picked up.
Yeah. So they moved themselves from not being contenders, being 1 game away from the AFC Championship. To me, it's AFC Championship or bust with them with what they did.
It's not. It's Super Bowl or bust because they got Stephon Diggs on their team.
And you don't give them an A+. They went from a team that before the season, they didn't pick up these pieces. Also, they're like, okay, they could get back to the
A- is not a bad grade. Oh my goodness, what are we doing here?
You just gave a team an A in the AFC East. No team in the AFC East had a better draft, better offseason than the Texans.
I'll give them an A, and I'm not going higher.
That's fine with me. An A is fine with me.
I'm not going higher. I'm not going higher.
Crazy. They're A. They're bona fide. All right, man. Let's go ahead and get to the Indianapolis Colts. So let's first start with what they did. They picked up Big Joe Flacco.
Tough.
Signed Trey Sermon.
You ain't tell me. A+ offseason.
Re-signed Michael Pittman. Picked up Danny Pinter, Tyquan Lewis, Jannard Avery. Re-signed, extended DeForest Buckner. Picked up Raekwon Davis. Re-signed Grover Stewart. Re-signed Tevin Bryan. Re-signed Zaire Franklin. Re-signed Kenny Moore. Re-signed Jalen Blackman. Picked up Ronnie Harrison. In the draft, they got Latu. Picked up Adion Mitchell. Matt Gonclaves, center. Picked up Tanner Bortolini. Got Anthony Gold. Jalen Carries. Jalen Simpson. Micah Abram. And Jonah Lau. What is your grade for the Indianapolis Colts?
I give them a B+, which is not bad by no means. Probably would have been an A- if they addressed tight end, which they didn't.
You don't believe in more Ali Cox? Come on, man.
I don't. I really don't. Like, bro, back to what I said about bro earlier. He is basically just out there. He is LeBron shooter. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he is just out there. He can do it. He can make plays here and there when called upon, but he's not like, hey, I'm not worried. I'm not worried about him when I'm out there.
Reflect Morale Cox, man.
Or maybe on Madden, but not in the league. He's tough though, but he can hoop. I've seen him play basketball, but I just think they need to replace him or get his replacement. I like Latu. That's one of the best pass rushers in this draft. You paired him with maybe Kwity Paye, which is nice. You got those two for years. Hopefully wrecking havoc, which they will. I really believe I'm really high on him after watching more of his games. And then you got arguably the best receiver, or that's out of the top 3. Not talking about neighbors, not talking about the top 3 that obviously are the best receivers in this draft. But I'm talking about outside of them, you got arguably the best receiver next out of that list. A.D. Mitchell, he reminds me a lot of C.D. Lamb. I said that when we did comps. The way he moves, even seeing like some these clips of training camp and just seeing how shifty he is, he's gonna make plays this year. And you got him with Michael Pittman and Alec Pierce. They gonna make some noise. I'm gonna tell you something, because AD, you put AD in the slot, which sounds like he's gonna be a slot. If Alec Pierce is out there with Michael Pittman, AD in the slot's gonna kill at 6'4" because he is shifty as hell.
That's a fact.
Well,
They got Downs, so they got Downs.
Oh shoot, that's a good problem to have, man. Alec Pierce might be shit out of luck. I'm gonna be honest with you.
He is shit out of luck. I promise.
He might be shit out of luck. I'm gonna be honest with you. Damn, bro. But Matt Gonclaves, it's a pretty good tackle to have. Good. Tanner Bortolini, I love because he could play any part of that offense line. He played, I think, from right tackle all the way to left guard. He didn't play left tackle, I don't think, but that's versatile. Being very versatile. That's a good player to have on your team. Gold, solid receiver. He's probably gonna make the team as like the sixth receiver. And I don't really care for the rest, to be honest with you. More like probably they might be gems because I like Indianapolis Colts GM. He finds people. I didn't think Zaire Franklin was gonna be this good. And that motherfucker is crazy. Like he's out there trying to take people's head off. And they develop people because they went from what's his name? Leonard to him. Two maniacs.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's a fact.
But no, they did good. They're going to push for playoffs. They might miss it maybe by a game, but they're going to be pushing for that second spot in this division.
All right. I'm with you. I give them a B. I like what they did this offseason. Like the AD matchup. I wasn't too big on Latu, but we'll see what it is. Everybody's bigger on him, so see what it is. I like that they were able to get Michael Pittman, re-sign Grover, and then get pretty much. I like they were able to get people back for the most part. So it's just a solid offseason for me. Nothing too crazy. So I give them a solid B. But yeah, I agree with you. Adion Mitchell, Joshua Downs, Michael Pittman. I believe in Mo Ali Cox to be productive. He doesn't have to be the greatest, but he can be productive. And honestly, you still got Jonathan Taylor, and then you get Anthony Richardson back, who I think could really make some really, really big moves. And I think he can really push in the MVP talks if he stays healthy. So there's going to be a battle for this division between the Colts and the Texans, in my opinion. So that's where I'm at with it. The next team we're gonna go to is the Tennessee Titans. So in the draft, they drafted J.C. Latham, Devondre Sweat, Cedric Gray, got Jarvis Brownlee Jr., Jaquan Jackson, James Williams, and Jalen Harrell. They picked up Mason Rudolph, signed to a 1-year deal, signed Tony Pollard, agreed to a 1-year deal with Tyler Boyd, Calvin Ridley, picked up with Calvin Ridley, Nick Westbrook-Ikini, Sahad Charles. They signed Lloyd and Cushenberry, signed Sebastian Joseph Day, signed Kenneth Murray, signed Chidobe Awuzie, traded for L'Jarius Sneed, picked up Nick Folk, and long snapper Morgan Cox. What are your thoughts on the Titans offseason?
B plus, man. B plus. They got a good duo at corner, bro.
Great duo
at corner.
Top 10 duo. Top 10 duo. Arguably, maybe top 5.
Arguably for sure.
Receiving core? Would you give them a top receiving core in the league?
Receiving core in the league, they got what? D-Hop,
Calvin Ridley, Tyler Boyd.
Man, I don't know. Maybe that's a topic. That's for another day. I gotta think about that one. I gotta think about that one a little bit more than on the spot because that's interesting because there's some good trios out here now. Yeah. And I like what they did draft wise. Picked up an actual tackle that's not going to quit on you.
That's crazy.
J.C. Latham, and the thing is, they got great coach over there. They're gonna get them right. But Callahan, his father is like a O-line guru.
Yeah.
So
you saw that machine he made, and J.C.
Latham was moving it.
Latham is huge, bro.
He is
Pause.
huge. He is huge. He is huge. They got, and hey, talk about huge. They got Devontae fucking Sweat. He is big as shit, and you put him on the line with.
Yeah, we both agreed that was kind of a reach though to get him in the
It
second
was
round.
because he probably could. He probably was falling farther because of his
But they didn't have a third round pick, so I see why they got him.
issues. But I like that pick. Cedric Gray's a good pick at linebacker. You know, he's young. You put him with a young guy like Kenneth. I like Brownlee. A lot of people slept on Brownlee. He had a really good Senior Bowl. He's a pretty solid DB. He gets to learn from two great corners, or one great corner and one almost in the great category. Like Cheeto needs to have a big year. He had a little down year after a really good year. That 1 year with the Bengals. I like Jaquan Jackson out of Tulane. I think he's going to make plays when opportunities arise. He's probably not going to get a ton of opportunities, but he's a future guy. He's a future guy. And James Williams, he's a little tweener. He's going to be your sub linebacker. He plays safety at Miami. He's like a Deion Buchanan. Plays safety and linebacker for you. He gonna make plays. Big 6'4" guy. Could probably come down and guard the tight end. And be in the box. So I like that. And then Jalen Harrell is just he got picked because he was a Michigan guy on a good team. To be honest with you, he was shit. Yeah. 7th round at that point, you got picked because you won a national championship. But yeah, I like what they did. I think I still don't see them making too much noise this year. They probably are not going to be a top 10 pick next year. They're probably going to be around 12, 13. I'd see them winning a little bit more games than what they did this past year. Yeah, I don't hate what they did.
All right, for me, I'm gonna give them a solid A minus. I like the Calvin Ridley pickup. Obviously, we just said top 10 or top. You could argue maybe top 5 with the cornerback duo they just picked up right there. Also, I like what they did with their coaching as well. On top of that, I really like. I think Calvin Ridley's going to do good. I love that they set up their quarterback for the future, as we suppose with Will Levis, for success. So I really like that they went ahead and did that. So I like the moves that they made. This is going to be one of the better divisions, I think, next year. Last year was a competitive division because everybody kind of sucked, really. But I think this year is going to be a competitive division where everybody pushing for 10 plus wins, possibly, in my opinion, because of their moves. I like the Tony Pollard move as well. I think picked up somebody like Tony Pollard who, when he said on the podcast, when I felt healthy wasn't until like week 9. And then you look at his stats post week 9 is when he was immensely better.
You said Tony Pollard went there?
Yeah, he had Titans.
Oh, I forgot that. Okay.
So, yeah, I like what they did, man. I like
If
what
he
they
has
did.
that O line, I don't think he's gonna have that O line for real, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's not gonna be the same, but like we said, they got a guru. So next year they'll be good. So I think as the season go on, we'll see them get better.
Probably. Shit.
All right, man. Next we go to Jacksonville Jaguars. Brian Thomas Jr. first round, Mason Smith, D tackle, Jaron Jones cornerback, Javon Foster tackle, Jordan Jefferson D tackle, DeAndre Price cornerback, Keelan Robinson running back, Cam Little kicker, and Miles Cole DN. This offseason, they acquired Mac Jones in a trade, pick up Ernest Johnson, signed Gabe Davis to a 3-year deal, signed Devin Duvernay, picked up Josiah Diagra, signed Ezra Cleveland, signed Mitch Morris, signed Tyler Shanley, signed Blake Hanks to an extension, signed Josh Allen finally to a 5-year deal, picked up edge Travis Gibson, signed Foy O'Callaghan. I don't know if I said his last name right. Apologies to a deal. Picked up Eric Armstead. Picked up Ronald Darby. Picked up Darnell Savage as well, and got a kicker Joey Sly. What is your thoughts on their offseason?
I'm gonna give them an A minus. I think they did. I think they got better. To be honest with you, their draft is cool. I like Brian Thomas pick up. I think that's a good pickup. I think you got rid of Zay Jones, and I think the only receiver you brought back was Christian Kirk that got actual bump.
Yeah,
So you got Brian Thomas you picked up, and then you wide receiver
Gabe
you just
Davis.
got too.
Gabe
Gabe
Davis.
Davis. Big play Gabe Davis. I don't know what he's gonna do there for real. We'll see. Um, I like Brian Thomas pickup though. Freak athlete, crazy 40, and he's at 6'4", and he can burn. Mason Smith, I'm not
He
too
got bands. He
familiar.
got it all.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with Mason Smith like that. I know he was a solid D tackle, one of the higher D tackles. I didn't really pay attention to D tackles a whole lot because my team really wasn't.
I would say the one thing I don't like is that they drafted both D tackles
From
FU.
LSU. That doesn't make any. I said the same thing. I said the same thing.
But Mason's good. He's a really good run stop.
I like what you did at corner. Ronald Darby's a great rotational corner to pick up. They got one more. I like Darnell Savage at safety. That's a great pickup. And then you drafted what did they draft? Jarrian Jones out of Florida State, I think is a really solid corner. I think he's going to be a good corner in this league. I think I think he could probably start day one. Hope maybe. He's a man corner. I have a lot of stock in Florida State DBs for some reason. No matter what, it seems like their DBs have good NFL careers. Don't know what it is. I know coaches have changed, but it seems like it's still the same when these guys come out and they actually get drafted. They are good. I think he's going to be a really good corner. Foster, good tackle in the 4th round. That's a good pick. It's a good pick. He might be your right tackle. He could fight for that position off rip. I like him a lot. Not too familiar with the rest of the guys. Miles Cole, I know at the end he probably shouldn't have got drafted 7th round, but it is what it is. People drop, shit happens. But they got a lot of receivers, Wayne. Let me be honest with you. They got a lot of receivers. I don't know what they're going to do. Pick up. I mean, Duvernay. I know, but I think Duvernay left the Ravens trying to get more bump at receiver. Like that was the intention, but it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
What they picked up, he might get a couple snaps here and there, but he's not going to a lot more. It's not going to be a big difference.
Specialist type snaps.
Oh, biggest pick though is Eric Armstead. Like you have good DNs or good pass rushers. And who they pick up? They got Walker and they picked somebody up on the other side. I thought a year ago, maybe not. Oh, they didn't pick up a DN. Yeah, they didn't get who I thought they were going to get. So I like it. This division got better. They got really more competitive. Go figure. I think the AFC is just like it's a gauntlet. I don't think there's going to be a lot of easy games this year.
Yeah,
there's going to be some.
No, the AFC is definitely looking like the West of the NFL. So yeah, I gave them a solid B plus. I think signing Gabe Davis to a deal is kind of that long and that big was a little bit too crazy, so it kind of went down for me. Even though they probably released him after 2 years. More like it was going to happen.
Hey, Gabe Davis said, check the stats. You know, he a top 10 receiver for real.
All right, Gabe Davis, calm down. I love the Darnell Savage pickup though in safety. I like that pickup for them. Ronald Darby, obviously Eric Armstead is a great pickup for them. Love that pickup. Mitch Morris, man, they really needed some offensive line help, and they made an emphasis to get some offensive linemen in this offseason.
Yeah,
center, guard, tackle.
Cleveland,
Trevor Lawrence has been running for his life since he's been in the league. Really helped them out with that. Obviously, we touched about the Brian Thomas Jr. big play wide receiver down the field. Kind of really, if he didn't drop like 5 passes, he would have had like 5 more touchdowns on the year. So
probably still be a Jacksonville Jaguar too.
That is a fact. So yeah, Like big play receiver. Me and you were high on Brian Thomas Jr. We thought he was one of outside of the big three. He was possibly the best one out of them. So I like that. But I really love the Eric Armstead pickup, man. That's a good. You know me, I'm huge. If you can get a great D tackle, changes your defense immensely, especially one that can pass rush and stop the run. And you always obviously have Josh Allen on that side. I thought that's somebody they would have to get rid of, but they were to keep him. So that's a great deal for them. And like I said, getting offensive linemen, getting some receivers, getting some backup running backs, so you don't have to run Etienne into the dirt because you saw his production go down towards the end of the season because of how much they were utilizing him. Now you got this Ernest who can really help him off with some of that load as well.
Tank.
Yeah. So great pickup.
Daisy.
Like what they did. I think this might be this we give everybody B pluses to A's in here. So this might be one of the better divisions in what they did so far this offseason, pushing himself up there. So I really like that. But yeah, man, that's the episode. Chubb, you got anything you want to say to people before we get up out of here?
Not much, man. Not much.
All right, folks.
Fuck with y'all, though. Fuck with y'all.
So next time we'll see y'all, man. We'll be back. We'll be back next week, next Monday, back to regular Monday and Fridays. Just me and Chubb's been coaching. We've been busy, adjusted to this coaching lifestyle, high school wise. So we'll be back. So we'll be back, man. But till next time, my name's Wayne. We'll holler at you.